What's up, YouTube? We are back with another video. I know you hadn't seen one in almost a week. We're probably actually going to start switching up formats. I'm probably only going to start shooting maybe one full video a week. It's summertime, and I know you guys are busy doing other stuff, so I'll try to switch out what kind of workouts we do on the videos. You know, like maybe one week it'll be chest, one week it'll be arms, one week back, one week legs, but I just don't think I'm going to do the 4 to 6 videos a week anymore. It seems like everybody's busy and we're just not getting the views that we used to get. So but yeah, I still appreciate the support that they do get. But maybe if we just do one a week, that way everybody has a chance to watch that one video and not be bogged down with, like I said, 4 to 6 a week. I may do some other videos in between, just short ones, maybe like another grocery store trip, because I've changed some of the things I'm buying. Maybe I'll show you that. When it's a slow, tedious process like this, there's not a lot of exciting things that happen every day. So that's why I think maybe just kind of hitting the high points once a week is going to be the best bet for the channel and for you guys and for me as well. Just because, to be honest with you, it's kind of the same, I don't want to say boring, but it's kind of the same boring stuff 5 or 6 days, 7 days a week, with the diet, the meal prepping, it's just, and that's the whole point of it. The whole point is consistency, but consistency tends to not be very entertaining. So we're going to do it that way. We're going to start shooting maybe just one video. I'm going to shoot a video a day. I came in here with the intention of doing back and arms. Not wanting to double up, but I haven't hit the gym again in a couple of days, and it's the weekend now, so I just want to hit it as best as I can. And since I have the time, I can be in here for a little while, more than normal. So there's actually somebody using dumbbells right now, and there's somebody using the squat rack, which I was going to use the barbell from that to do deadlifts. So I'm kind of at a standstill at the moment, and starting out with deadlifts, I don't really want to go on to something else and wear myself out, because I'm going to need every bit of strength initially to power through some deadlifts. So I did bring my straps today, so that's a change. I usually forget them. I think I brought them one time since I bought them. I tend to forget them because they're always up on the bookshelf at the house, but I just walk out and I don't grab them. So hope you guys have had a good week, and hope you guys have been getting a lot done. Leave me a comment, let me know how your diet's going. If you've had some weight loss, let me know and I'll mention you. I've been watching Big Man Down 75. He's been putting up a lot more video content, especially on Instagram. Showing some of the workouts he's doing. So good job to you, man. And I think you're doing a good job, and it looks good, and it looks like you're getting stronger too. So just keep at it, man, just like me. And I hadn't talked to Yaku Fit in a while. Like I said, I think with it being summertime, it's probably like, honestly, I don't even know if it's summertime in South Africa. Maybe it's wintertime now, and that's the reason. But no, I think everybody's just got, we got lives outside of the gym and stuff. None of us are getting paid to do this. We're not Bradley Martin characters yet, where we get paid for our level of fitness. So we all have jobs we have to work. We all have groceries we have to buy. Nutrition Solutions isn't sponsoring me, sending me meals, that I can just pop in the microwave. I'm having to cook all that stuff. So, but yeah. All right, well, I didn't mean to ramble on, but let's get into this workout. Like I said, do some back, nothing major. Do some back and then some arms, and then go back home. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching along. Go ahead and like the video. You're gonna like it. That's just some subliminal advertising. You will like the video, so just go ahead and like it. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, but we'll talk about that more later. All right, guys, thanks. All right, guys, so we're gonna start out with our deadlifts, and we're using the squat rack apparatus. What I've noticed when I've been doing deadlifts, I tend to wear myself out bending over to put the weights on, by picking the bar, picking up half the bar to add plates. and it's tiring. So instead of zapping my energy that way, I set it up on the bottom. Hopefully you could see that, but it's not exactly straight off the ground. It's still honestly about 1 inch off the ground. So the range of motion, I know that 1 inch may not seem like a lot, but from a pure deadlift standpoint, it still is a change. Because technically when you're deadlifting, you're pulling the weight directly from the ground. That 1 inch, I don't know if that 1 inch helps or hurts. I know that like for strongman events, they'll change the weight, change the height of the starting point, and that adds difficulty. I don't think that at this point, this 1 inch off the ground is going to add difficulty. I actually think that may make it a bit easier because I'm not having to go down quite as far. The difference being with the strongman competitions is it's usually up around just below the knee, and so the force required is a lot different than what they train. I mean, they train pulling it off the ground just like you and me, and then they get thrown in that all of a sudden, it's a foot and a half starting point. So the pivot point or the explosion point comes at a different place. That's why you see sometimes the axle lifts and some of those things. Not only is the bar bigger around diameter wise, but the starting point is higher or lower. You've seen them with tires and things like that. The reason that's complicated or challenging, the reason only a few people on the planet can do it, is because you can train in the gym for years picking up the weight off the ground as a standard deadlift, and your form is right, and your explosion timing is set for this amount of weight at this point. The most explosion coming, actually within, really not coming straight off the ground because you'll hurt yourself like that. It's that first lift off and then exploding up. So that's why strongman competitions will change the height. Sometimes it'll be at their knee, a little bit lower at their shin, sometimes above the knee, just depending on the apparatus that they've got for that particular competition. So I don't think that this 1 inch or half an inch off the ground is going to do anything to make it harder. I think it's going to make it a little bit easier, and it's for sure going to make it easier to load plates. Some gyms have this little cantilever thing that allows you to pick the bar up, load the plates, cantilever it back down, and start there. Obviously this gym being a commercial fitness more than weightlifting, powerlifting style gym doesn't have that. So I kind of made my own version of that. So hopefully loading the plates doesn't, loading or unloading doesn't wear me out, and I can do a little bit more, or at least feel a little bit better doing what I'm doing. So we're also not going to do 5 reps. I think that's good to build a foundation, doing 5 reps, but doing 5 reps of 135 pounds, when I'm really shooting for that 405 number is counterintuitive. I'm just wearing myself out before I can get the strength to get there. And with deadlifts being one of my weak points, I'm just going to use the weight up a couple of times, maybe twice, just to get, not even a warm-up, but just to get the body mechanics of what I'm expecting it to do. But doing it 5 times and adding a plate, doing that 5 times, adding a plate, doing that 5 times, adding a plate, doing that 5 times, although it's good in the long term, that's kind of, for me, that's kind of a goal once I've kind of reached, I don't want to say my peak potential, but I think that because having done it one time and knowing that how difficult doing 405 was, I think that needs to be my starting point. And when I say starting point, I mean I need to be able to get from nothing to 405 pounds with ease, and then struggle 405 and then going up each week or every couple of weeks from that point. rather than kind of fizzling out and burning out all my energy just getting up towards 405. So I'm gonna try to conserve energy on the lower weight reps by doing less reps, and then expend massive amounts of energy trying to do additional weight. So yeah, so let's get to work. I'm gonna try to set the camera up and so you can see what I'm doing. So wish me luck on that. So one downfall of doing it the way that I just did it, even with that 135, was the front bar being in the way. It may actually help, as time goes on. This is the first time I've ever used this apparatus this way, but it may help because it'll let me know if I'm leaning too far forward and I'm not keeping that straight line. That's the whole thing about deadlift. The bar, and I see a lot of people in here doing deadlifts, and I don't want to be that guy, but they're just really doing them really wrong. And I know my form's not perfect, but I see people, a foot and a half away from the bar, bending over to pick it up. The point is that the bar should be in the same vertical line that it was where it started on the ground. Not that it should be out in front of you and then come in, or not that it should be in and move outwards. It's straight up and down. The bar should only move up and down. And by the bar starting out in front of you a lot, you're never gonna be able to pull that much weight because the bar is not traveling in a straight line, and gravity's going to dictate ultimately that as soon as that bar comes off the ground, it's going to swing inwards. But to have the most blast off range of motion and strength, you've got to start really close to your shins. Mine actually touch, and I just slide it up my shins over my kneecap, and about the time that I'm standing where my kneecap bends back in, my hands are in the same position, and then I'm up. So if you watch any of the professionals, that's how they do it. That's the reason they can pull 700, 800, 900 pounds, 1,000 pounds, keeping the weight close to your body. So if it's far out and you're bending over like you're picking up your car keys, one, you're gonna hurt yourself, and two, even if you don't hurt yourself, maybe you just have a miraculous skeletal system, or you're young or something, you're just not gonna be able to pull that much. Nobody can reach out away from it. It's your hands down, that's your side, basically all one straight movement up. It's just straight up. There's no angle, it's straight down, straight up. And to do that, you have to position your body in kind of a weird position by keeping yourself close to the bar, so by the time you're standing, it's just moving straight up. So yeah, just a little tip, but this is hitting the front of that bar, which means I'm leaning too far forward, because it should be going straight up. It shouldn't be hitting, if there was another bar, it shouldn't be hitting behind, and it shouldn't be hitting in front. It should straight up and down motion. So if it's not against the bar when I'm starting, it shouldn't be against the bar at any point in the motion going up or down. So that maybe help me with my form. So we're gonna give it a go and jump up to 225 and see if we can do that for a couple times. About the straps, as you guys know, my hands are super weak from arthritis and turning wrenches all these years. So I try to go as heavy as I can without straps, but I've seen people do 500 pounds without straps, 600 pounds without straps, and I probably can't do 315 without straps, and 225 pushes it. So yeah, we'll just see where we get, and before we bust out the straps. and I brought those with the intention of trying to go heavier today. So let's see what we can do. Alright guys, so we just wrapped up our deadlifts. I attempted 405 and failed. I may throw that into the video, I'm not sure. But yeah, maybe I will. I didn't even get it, 5 inches off the ground this go round. And like I said, I've only been able to do it one other time. Which is weird because like some years back, I don't mean like a long time ago, but I mean like probably 4 years ago, I had lost a bunch of weight, and again, trying again. I had a real good job at the time, and the job was whatever, but I had a really good schedule, Monday through Friday, like 8 to 5, off on the weekends, so I could really focus on gym. And this is gonna sound crazy, but the very first time I went in to do the deadlift, I had been working out probably for like 3 months without deadlifting at all. The gym that I was going to, deadlifting wasn't like, it was kind of like here, I guess. Like it was hard to get set up. They didn't really have an area for it. But anyways, so like that first day, man, I just went in and I think I threw on like 225 or 315 to start, knock that out, no problem. I threw 405 on, knocked that out, and then I threw like 465, knocked that out. And I couldn't do any more than that. But it's weird to see like, time and age and injuries and just, that was basically fresh. And there's probably some people out there, right now that, even friends of mine maybe that don't go to the gym, come in here and just knock it out. And then somebody like me who goes to the gym every day, really struggles sometimes with certain weights that I wouldn't think I would, but it's kind of mysterious. Weightlifting, if you really want to know what it's like, to me, weightlifting to me is kind of like golf. I love golf, but it seems like in golf you're always chasing that one shot that you had that one time. Like when I play golf, I suck, but I've had probably, a 350, 375 drive straight down the fairway, maybe once. I've had a 30-foot putt sink once. I've had a chip shot from the rough, 30 yards out, land right next to the pin once. And it's those moments, and all those aren't in the same match, but it's those moments where you're like, man, that was incredible. Like that was pro level stuff. And you, when you're playing golf, you're like, if I could just duplicate that every time or every other time or something, then I'd be amazing. And I think, obviously you don't. So that's why I said people spend their whole lives, starting at 20 and then up into their 70s and 80s, their whole lifetime, chasing those random amazing shots that you make. You might make a really cool shot at 21, and then at 24 you do something else incredible, and at 27 you do something odd-defying, and trying to put all those together in a complete game when you're just an amateur and you're not taking lessons or doing any of that, and you're just casually doing it, once a month or every couple weeks. That same addiction sort of that golf gives you, because you see your greatness. and I think what's different than say like something else like football, right, it doesn't matter. I've never been able to go out and pick up a football. And I mean, there's probably people that can, but I've never been able to pick up a football and throw it 80 yards. Never like, pole vaulted 20 feet or something, or whatever. I don't know anything about that sport. I've never ran a 4-minute mile or 4.5-minute mile. So for me, there's never, with those other types of things, there's never that like, oh man, one time I did something awesome and I can duplicate it again if I just train. Golf's like that. And you know what? So is weightlifting. Weightlifting is one of those things where the stars align, your calorie intake aligns, your rest aligns, and you'll smash it. And you'll kill have a killer arm workout or killer back workout, or you'll set a PR on squats or bench or something like that. And then it really seems like you spend your time chasing that for a while. Not as much as golf, but you spend the next few months chasing that greatness, and you get it again, or you get more, and then the process starts over. You spend the next couple weeks or months chasing that one-time greatness, and it really seems like that to me. It really does. It's like, I would say weightlifting is as close to golf as anything else. Just because you'll have these instances where you set a PR, and a PR is important because PR takes everyone else out of the equation. You're not competing against anyone but yourself, but you'll have these times where you'll hit this PR. Maybe it's something, we all say back in the day, yeah, I could bench this, that, and the other. And it's like, most of us could. And it's like, then that's when you were young and your testosterone levels were through the roof, and all these other factors. Like I said, pre-injury, you weren't picking up engines and transmissions like a dummy in your 20s, and or whatever. Like I told you, I think last video or a couple videos ago, I hurt my back the other day just barely taking off a battery terminal. It kind of like cinched up, and I had to hunch over. We're talking about 3 pounds of resistance, whereas 15 years ago, some of you watching this video know, like, oh, a transmission came in on a crate. Okay, well, let me pick it up, off the crate and bring it over to you, or pick it up and set it on the transmission jack, or, a small engine. Like, there's an example where one time we were like picking up stuff at like one of my relatives' house, and they had a Honda, like a 1.6, and I'm not trying to get car technical, but they had like a 4-cylinder, like 1.6 liter engine out of a Honda on their balcony. They were on the floor level, and they were moving out, so we had to get all the stuff. And like, I picked up this 1.6 liter engine, complete assembly, and I don't even know if that even weighs a lot, really, now that I think about it. It's not like a V8 or something, but picked it up over the railing by myself, set it down, and it's probably still 300 or 400 pounds at least. And when you do stuff like that, and then you have an instance where you come back to the gym 15, 20 years later, and like 405 on a bar with straps, like, it gives you a hard time. It's one of those things, like, it seems like you're always chasing your own greatness, and it's very weird. Sometimes it's frustrating, but more than anything, it's just weird, because you're like, I know I've done it, can I do it again? And I think the biggest thing is strength really deteriorates as you get older, like I said, because testosterone levels and hormone imbalances and extra stress, which releases other hormones and stuff like that you don't have when you're younger. And then like all that, and then years of like, bad cartilage and torn this and torn that, and basic injuries that you don't go even to the doctor for. You're just like, oh man, I hurt my shoulder, but I'll just take a couple days, or like bone breaks, like I broke my wrist, and like now I can't turn my wrist all the way flat, like I look stupid, like in a drive-through, somebody gives you change, I have to like do my hand in a cup because I can't, but it's like, that's why I don't do reverse grips on deadlift because I can't turn my wrists that way. But yeah, so I think it's weird. It's like one of those things where the more that time goes on without enhancement, without maybe adding testosterone or some other things, you're actually not going to get stronger. You're going to reach like a point, and then you're going to taper off every day from that point forward. Like I said, without enhancement. I mean, there's plenty of guys in their 40s and 50s that are way strong, but the majority of them, even though they work out harder than me, or harder than you or a lot of normal people, it's just, there might be a little bit of enhancement there. Because, I mean, even doing the same thing without any sort of, enhancements, you're actually wearing yourself out. You're actually tearing down. You reach a point, you're building, and then now I'm injuring, tearing up, and it's getting harder and harder to recover after each workout and stuff like that. So, but it's weird, it's just something I was thinking about. Weightlifting is one of those things that becomes, I don't want to say detrimental, because that base muscle that's always surrounding your bones and your joints, guys in their 90s are fine with that, but your overall strength will deteriorate. There's no 60-year-old men in here doing 315-pound deadlifts or 315-pound bench press or any of that. And I mean, those people exist, but they don't exist naturally. They really don't, and it's not their fault. I mean, I personally don't have anything against it. I really don't. If you're not competing in a sport, who cares what you're doing? And I say I don't care about it in sports if everybody could use it, but or if everybody had the option. But since there's so many bans on stuff, but yeah, it's just weird because it's like you kind of hit a peak, 35, 40 years old, and then everything after that's just kind of downhill. So it's kind of funny because it's like you're training your body, and in the training of your body, that's what it's doing. I mean, you're getting to the point where you're getting stronger, but your body can't keep up, and it can't repair the muscles fast enough, and then you're not getting any stronger, and then all those kind of things. So I didn't mean to ramble on as long as I just did, but we're gonna go into some more back. I'm gonna do standing rope, high rows. It looks weird, but you can feel it in your upper back, and for me, that's something I don't hit a lot. My mid back seems to get hit like crazy, I guess because I do all the bent over rows and cable rows, and it's like every machine and every exercise that you do is really about the middle portion of your back. And that's fine, because I mean, you want to have a big middle strong back. Even deadlifts really work your lats and that big wing part. But I'm gonna do these because I just did like a warm-up of like 3, and the weight had to be super low, which means that's weak, right? Because if I'm strong on everything but that one part is weak, then it means I'm not training it. So we're gonna do a few sets of those, and try to figure out a couple more things for back, and then a couple things for arms, and maybe just get a nice pump for the weekend and get out of here. So all right, guys, let's get to it. just want to break in real quick. Those work really well. So if you can get comfortable in the position, and I know it's a hard position because the workout partner I used to have, Alex, he had a real hard time getting into the position, and because he wasn't in position, it limited the weight that he could use. I have no doubt in my mind he could do as much as I could, but because he couldn't get comfortable in I call it a football stance, because he couldn't get, when I was showing him how to do it and I told him football stance, he got in this really low football stance, I guess like new school style. He's like 10 years younger than me, but like old school, gridiron, Midwest style, where there ain't no 350-pound guys getting down on the ground to set up. They're just bending over and bending at the knees. So, like the old school style, like Terry Bradshaw days. But yeah, it's like if you can get into that position and keep rigid, man, it really isolates the back when you're doing those rows. Those 70 pounds, 70-pound dumbbells, and it's not a ton of weight, but I'd be damned if you don't feel it. So I'm going to 75, see how I can do that. I'm not sure I can do that for 10, but I'm going to do it for as much as I can. I might try to go to 80s, and I haven't done them in a while. It's kind of like that prison yard curl, which I'm probably going to do here in just a minute, because it seems like if you don't do those consistently, it's like you really lose your, I don't want to say you lose your strength, but because they're kind of technical in the way that your body is holding itself, like with the prison yard curls, you're straight up, your abs are tight, your shoulders are squared, your hips are forward, your feet are planted, and it's like if you don't do that, it's not that your biceps get weaker, and in this case it's not that your back is getting weaker, it's like all those other little auxiliary things that are holding you in place are weak because I haven't been doing it. So it's like you forget. So it's like it was hard just now to do those 70s, whereas the last time I did them, I think I maxed out the thing all the way to 85. It's like it was no problem. So yeah, but let's go back and do that. But yeah, make sure you add these in to your repertoire if you're not already, because they work. So, and when I say something works, it's because how it feels. If it feels like it hurts and it's hard, and when I say hurts, I don't mean like injured hurt. I mean like, oh, this hurts because it's so heavy. If it feels like that, it means it's working. Because if you're just going through here lifting weights and nothing hurts and you don't feel sore and you just kind of breeze through it and you're out in an hour or 35 minutes or 45 minutes, and you're not doing your form right or you're not using enough weight. Because it's not about, I don't care if you're trying to lose weight and tone up, there's a threshold to where you've got to use enough resistance. If I came in here and curled 5-pound dumbbells, there's not enough resistance in that. Even if I did it 20 times, it's not enough resistance. There's a point where you have to keep the resistance high enough for it to make a difference. And then there's a whole offshoot of that where you're using enough resistance to build muscle or sculpt muscle, and that's where you really want to start changing the weight. But there's a certain threshold for a beginner to an expert where there's like a minimum amount, so if you can just come in and you're just picking up 30 pounds and 40 pounds like it's nothing, then quit and start picking up 70 pounds and see how that feels. And that's what I do on every workout. If I come in and bench 185 like it's nothing, and I'll keep throwing on weight till it is something. And that's what you have to do. There's like I said, there's a threshold, and I go over the threshold, meaning I try to push myself to lift more weight than I can, than I think I'm capable of doing, to the point of almost like a fight or flight. Either I push this weight or I lift this weight, or it hurts me because it falls on my face or something. But that's my journey. But even in your journey, you know, if you can do a 30-pound dumbbell for 10 reps, try to and be like, okay, cool, we're done. Let's go on to 40 pounds or let's go on to 30 pounds. No, screw that. Go with the heaviest possible thing and try to squeeze out 10 reps, because that's going to make the biggest difference. You know, if you're just like, oh, blew through, I mean, I see guys in here all the time curling, you know, curling 25s. And it's like, if you can curl 25s for like 20 reps, pick up some heavier weight. Start with 35s and work your way up. That extra 10 pounds is how you're going to make muscle gain. If you're in here lifting weights, you want muscle gain most, 90% of the time. So, and even if you're like, I want to lean up, you still need muscle to do that. So, yeah, another long rant full of those tonight, because I hadn't talked to you guys in like a week. But yeah, so if you come in, you're like, oh, I did that for 10 and go on to my next set, stop. You're just wasting your time, and you're going to be in here for months and years never accomplishing your goals or never getting much closer to them. So if you're like, oh, I just squatted 135 pounds, and it's like, and that's good if it was really, really hard for you. Like if it was freaking hard, like you were like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get back up. Awesome. You're doing it. I don't care if it's 85 pounds. But if you come in here and you can bust out 135 pounds and put it back on the rack and just walk off and you're like, okay, that was cool, I did it. You're not building anything. You're not doing the muscle any good because it's not under enough load. So your muscles need to be under load to grow, to form, to shape. So yeah, that's what you got to do. I mean, like me, I said these 70 pounds is kind of heavy. I didn't say I think I'm going to move down to 65s. I said they were kind of heavy. So now I'm going to go up to 75. I bet that'll be really damn heavy. So, and then I said if I can do that, then I'm going to go to 80 and maybe get that for 2. I don't care. But I'm putting my muscles under constant stress. And that's how you build muscle, guys. So, all right, let's do 75s. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna call it a night. I feel pretty good physically, but I was re-racking those deadlift weights in between because I was about to go do arms, but I started feeling like sleepy. So I look at my phone, and it's like 12:33 in the morning, and I woke up at 7:30 this morning, or yesterday morning. So that's probably why I'm sleepy. Like, I feel physically okay. I drank some pre-workout before I came, but so I feel like, yeah, I can keep going, but like my eyes want to close and I gotta drive home. So I think I'm gonna call it a night and just pick up arms tomorrow. I had a pretty good back workout overall. Got in like 4 different exercises. So yeah, I feel pretty happy with that. And if I didn't get here that late, but I guess I did wait on the guys that were on those other machines, or on the squat rack that I was using for deadlifts. I guess I waited on them longer than I thought I did, but and I made some long intermission videos too. I realized that, so that was probably part of it. But yeah, so anyways, guys, I hope you liked the video. It's pretty good video. Not a good video. I don't know if it's a good video or not, but pretty good workout. And I felt pretty good. And I feel like I had some good trains of thought that I shared with you on a couple of things, which is one of the things I like most. It's like when I'm in here doing something and I think of something while I'm doing something, for like a tip to give you. It's like real-time feedback. So I like that. And again, if you like the video, I know I said at the beginning, if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram. Our Instagram followers are dropping off a little bit. I don't know why, probably just because I'm not posting as much stuff. You know, it's hard to post stuff to Instagram that's entertaining 5 times a day, because I'm kind of a boring ass person. You know, just work, eat food, sleep, work, eat food, sleep. So I don't do a whole lot, especially through the week. So yeah, people are just like, oh, I'm not following this guy because he's boring, I guess. But if you don't follow us, go ahead and go over there and follow me. And you know, it's how I keep in touch with the base people through the week. So again, Bolton Fat to Fit on Instagram. If you have questions or comments, boltonfattofit@gmail.com. And keep following along on YouTube. And thanks again, guys. I will make a video tomorrow for the arms, and because I was going to do it tonight, so I don't want you to miss that one. But then we'll probably just go back to once a week. So all right, guys, until next time, appreciate all the support, and good luck on all your fitness and weight loss goals. And we'll see you next time. Thanks again.